So we've all been there, we've hit the perfect drive, middle of the fairway, we've got the 3-wood out, chance to get on that par 5 in 2, and then this happens. Well, today's Friday Fix, powered by PlayerFuel, is all about how to stop topping your fairway woods. So that inability to hit our fairway woods correctly is probably the biggest thing I see with most golfers. And I think the initial issue starts that when golfers have got a wood in their hand, they treat it very like driver. So the problem starts with what they're trying to do and setup. Now you might agree with me with this, and if you do, comment below, that most golfers think that they need to kind of sweep the ball away off the floor. And the problem with that is they get the low point behind the golf ball and the club's actually traveling up by the time they hit the golf ball. And even though you can hit some good shots doing that, you have to be phenomenally accurate to do it. So what I would tend to see with the golfer who struggles with the fairway woods is as they set up to the golf ball, they tend to get that golf ball a long way forward, maybe get a little bit more weight on that trail foot. And then as a result of that, like you would look to do with driver, the low point's behind, club's traveling up. But you can imagine if I'm bottoming out here, there's every chance I could even miss the golf ball if I do it exceptionally well. And I don't think any of us would stand there and go, that was nearly a really good shot. So the first thing we need to understand is every time the golf ball's on the floor, whether it be fairway wood, hybrid or iron, we need the lowest point of our swing to be ahead of the golf ball. So the first change we're going to make at setup is we're not going to get the ball quite as far forward as normal. So maybe just forward of centre. And I want you to feel at address that there's maybe just slightly more weight on that lead foot. Now, we're going to then have a few practice swings, but what I want you to feel, and we'll leave the ball there as a guide, is that that weight starts on that left side. As you turn back, that trail hip moves behind you. We don't want to see that weight move a long way back because then you've got a long way to move forward. So we're going to turn back behind, and as we start down, we're going to drive into that lead foot and try and touch the ground this side, target side of the golf ball. And have a few practice swings because I see so many golfers initially don't touch the ground at all. And I do understand why, because they're so used to touching the ground back here on all that weight staying back. So we're going to have some practice swings, get used to the movement. Now, again, you might agree that when it's a practice swing, it's easy. But when that ball's there, it becomes that little distraction. So I'm using 3-wood, and it might be, even with 3-wood, you struggle with this, but 5-wood, 7-wood might work a little bit more with the loft. So we're going to get that ball slightly more towards the centre, a little bit of weight onto that lead foot, and then, like I said, we're going to try and touch the ground, target side of the golf ball. So turn back, shift forward, and you can see the divot, and I have no issue you taking a divot with a fairway wood, is target side of the golf ball. So there I'm going to collect the ball, then the turf, going to present the loft on the club to the ball. And even though it might not go hugely high, it'll do whatever the club is designed to do. So have a few practice swings, turn back, shift forward, and we can see as long as we're starting to be consistent with where our lowest point of our swing is, then we've got that best chance of hitting good shots. But like I said, so many golfers get that ball forward, sit back, and that was even worse than that opening shot. But as long as you're not doing that, you've got a real chance of hitting some good shots. So we're going to get the ball down again, a couple of practice swings, get that feel, really focus on what you're doing. And if you can do this, it's so much more simple, and it's not only going to improve your fairway woods, it's going to improve hybrids and irons. But we're then going to set up to the golf ball, like I said, ball not too far forward, turn back, really drive into that lead foot. So where you get your weight in your downswing particularly is so key. And all the best players in the world, by impact, have at least 70% of the weight into that lead foot. But like I see with most club golfers, because they set up with that weight on that back leg, they really struggle to get onto that front foot. So it's really key that you start with just a little bit more. I mean, for some of you, it might feel very, very exaggerated. But if you start a little bit more left-sided and then turn back, your weight's still going to move, but it's just not going to move excessively. And then once you're in that nice centered position, it's so much easier to drive into that lead side. And then as that shaft leans forward, you are de-lofting the golf club. But as with every fairway wood, the loft actually changes up the face. So when you hit the ball low on the face, there's less loft. The higher up, actually the more loft there is. So even if you get that club leaning forward, by presenting higher up the face, there's actually more loft there. And if you can get into that position where by impact you're in here, you're going to hit higher up the face, get more speed off the face, launch the ball higher and hit the ball further because of that better strike. So for a lot of you golfers who have really struggled topping your fairway woods and just generally poor strike, it's about controlling that low point, moving that weight forward and de-lofting the golf club. But like I said, there's no need to panic, because when you look at the face there, even though this is 14.5 degrees, that's in the middle of the club face. When I'm hitting up and catching it lower on the face, even though I look like I'm adding loft, I'm actually presenting less loft. So by moving the weight forward, getting that club leaning forward, hitting higher up the face, we're launching it higher. Most importantly, we're striking the ball correctly. And when you strike it well, launch it high with good speed off the face, that's how you're going to hit the best fairway woods of your life. So hopefully you've enjoyed this week's Friday Fix, powered by PlayerFuel as ever. If you have enjoyed it, please share the video, like it, comment below, and I'll get back to as many people as I can. There's another video just there that hopefully you'll enjoy, help you play better golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.